thank you very much for your time to recording, to speak about your family. For me, it's an honor for me. I want to speak with you about your family, or about your occupation, about your dreams. And I'm sure more people, more women from Moldova will listening, will want to see your you.
That's for me. It's a part of my life that I'm not talking about that much because I don't know a lot, but all my roots are still there, and my heart is still there.
Let's speak about your paternal family. How did they come to France? Why France?
No, they didn't come. When the revolution arrived, my grandfather and his wife were owning a lot of land, and they had 11 kids. My dad was only 13, and then he escaped because they killed, the communists killed my grandmother, my grandfather, and all the eldest brothers. And my dad took his things. He had nothing at that time, and he left by himself and never came back. He didn't have any papers, any passport, nothing. So what I know about him, it's what he told us. That's it. But I know he left when he was very young by himself. And then after, he met with some, maybe 2 brothers and 1 sister that did the same after him, but immigrate, 1 in Argentina and 3. But he was the only one who got to, he was not exactly in France. He was in Spain when he met my mother, who was Spanish. So they decided, both of them, that they will try to live in France. So they settled down in France, and that's how it begins.
Was Russian or Romanian spoken in your family?
But I cannot speak enough, because with a Spanish mother and Romanian, Moldavian father, it was complicated. So they decided to give us first Spanish language, then they teach us the English, and then the French, because we were going to school in France.
Which Moldavian tradition or national holidays do you remember?
Not a lot, because I've never been. I've been once. I met the president. At that time, I was first lady, and he was really amazing, and he talked to me about my family, and actually he's the one who gave me some details about my family. So he knew more than me.
Please tell us about your mother's family. It's an impressive dynasty.
My mother is from Spanish and Belgium roots. Her mother was from Belgium, Flemish, and her father was from Spain. He was the son of the Spanish composer Isaac Albéniz. And my mom's father was a diplomat at the nations. Was raised in Portugal and raised in Spain. And then at the age of 17, she met with my father, who had 24 years older than her. And they get married as soon as she was 18. And because she lost her dad when she was very young, and her mom was not well, so she get married very quickly. And they were still married until death took them apart. And they had 4 kids, my 3 eldest brothers and me.
Let's speak about your brothers, about your investor brother, Christian from Luxembourg. His biography, it's amazing.
Yes, I know. He's a businessman. But now, you know, I live in the United States for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
My brother is American because he moved when he was 17. He went to the university in town and then in Harvard, and then he stayed. He married an American citizen. He had a kid who's a lawyer in California, so he never came back to Europe. The second one stayed in Europe, Christian, and lived in Europe and in France. And the third one moved to South America, Peru. And since then he has 5 kids and he lives in Lima, Peru. And so we are a family very international, global. Citizens, like friends.
I read about your brother Patrick, who worked at NASA, and in NASA reviews, I read about his innovation applied in management and accounting system. How did he get there?
I don't know, because he studied in the United States, and then, I mean, he's very, I'm not going to say smart, but he's very, you know, scientific, and he is really smart. He's really impressive. So he made an amazing career in NASA and other things besides. And I'm very much impressed by his life, very much. But he's a very secret man. He doesn't speak that much about his professional life.
Mm-hmm. Your brother Ivan, it's in the business field, because about him we find less information on the internet.
Because he moved to Peru, Lima, Peru, and he settled. He got married. He had a lot of kids, and now he's between Panama and Peru. But he doesn't travel that much. He stayed there a lot.
Do you often get to see all your siblings together?
Sometimes one in United States, one in South America, one in Europe, and then I'm living in New York. So it's a little bit complicated because I have my grandkids to visit as well, and my own kids, which are everywhere in the world as well. So I try to do my best.
So happy to be here and to have this panel with you. So let me introduce you to my just newest friend, an amazing woman that I look up to, which is Liane Carrett. Welcome to FII. In a few words, so Liane is the CEO of Defense, Space and Security at Boeing. Liane is a major force in global business and has been named one of Fortune's most powerful women 5 years in a row. I mean, that's something. I'm not going to look all over your bio because it's way too long, and it's impressive, so I'm impressed. But really, I would like to tell you that you're an inspiration.
During your marriage with Nicolas Sarkozy, you held public office, the advisor of minister, then member of Bureau of Ministry of Interior. What kind of responsibilities did your position entail?
At the very beginning, I was working when he was only mayor of New York. Then he got elected as a deputy. So I started work with him like an assistant as deputy. And then he got the first ministry, was Ministry of Interior. So I was just advisor to the minister. My office was close to him and we were working together. And I was trying to help a lot, as much as I could, all the people that were in need or who were desperate, and the minister didn't have always the time to listen to everyone. So I was the one who tried to give my time to help. And I think it's a duty when you are the honor to be in those positions to give your time to help the other ones. That's why I get engaged in a lot of foundations, and I got engaged in a lot of movements and associations to help not only women, but all kind of cases I could help. And even I was involved in the French police, trying to, because it's not always easy, you know, to be a policeman in France. So I'm very much respectful for those guys and the work they're doing, like the army forces. So I try to give a hand as much as I could to make their lives easier. And so I work with Nicolas, and we work for years together, and I was just a helping hand.
It's very interesting history about Libyan nurse stories. Please tell us about the causes of this history.
There was 5 Bulgarian nurses and 1 doctor that were condemned to death by Colonel Gaddafi and his government because they accused them to infect and by the HIV virus 450 kids between the age of birth date and 18 months. They said that it was the nurses who infected those kids, and they were probably the arm of the CIA or the Mossad who intended to touch the country, touch Libya, and make the fall of Gaddafi happen. So they took those nurses and this doctor, they put them in jail for 9 years. Everybody tried to help to get them released. It was quite complicated. And when Nicolas got elected as president, it was the first thing that he talked to me about. It was, we need to help those poor nurses and that doctor. They've been tortured. It's awful. They're going to be condemned to death. They're going to die soon. We have to try something. So we decided that I will go by myself, just with the Secretary General of the Élysée, Claude Guéant, at that time, and 2 security details. And we flew to Libya, to the capital of Libya. And then I met with Gaddafi. And then I went to Benghazi to see the kids that were there, grown up, 9 years old, 10 years old. And then I met with the families of those kids. And we never get the proof that those kids were infected by those nurses. Nobody could even prove that. And I mean, to kill 6 persons without having any proof, that's insane. So I tried my best. I went twice. My first trip was to Tripoli was maybe 24 hours. And the second trip was 45 hours. It was a week apart. And the second trip, I was with Benita Ferrero-Waldner, who was a European commissioner. She came with me. And then I fought with the son of Gaddafi, Saif al-Islam. I met with his daughter. I talked to him, to his prime minister. And I mean, I tried my best, and I left with the nurses and the doctor. I brought them back in the French official plane of the French government to Bulgaria, Sofia, Bulgaria.
Thank you very much. It's grateful. It's amazing. It's impressive. What arguments did you put to the Libyan leaders?
When I talked to Gaddafi and to everyone, I tried everything I could. I told them that in the Quran, you're not punishing the blood by the blood. I told him that there was a big hospital in Benghazi where the kids were killed or sick, and that the world and the Europe will help to have the most modern hospital for the whole Africa area in Benghazi, that we will send doctors to teach to the Libyan doctors how to take care of the kids, that we will find and send them medications and furniture to this hospital. And I tried everything I had in my hands to release those persons. And I was very convincing because I was very scared about losing 6 lives. For me, it was like a huge challenge, the biggest challenge of my life. And I couldn't accept to lose those lives. So everything I could argue was good enough for me to give me weapons against them.
Congratulations. It's a great...
So much.
tell us about the life of First Lady. What are the responsibilities? What is the agenda?
You know, I First Lady for a very short time.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed for 6 or 7 months, if I do remember well. So for me, it was not a big change because I was before for years at the Ministry of Interior and then after at the Ministry of the Economy and Finance and then back to the Ministry of Interior. So when I got to the Élysée Palace, for me, it was not a huge change. It was only a huge responsibility and a huge honor. So what I tried to do is build an office and some people working with me to help others. So I built a little team and I tried my job was every letter, every demand I received and try to help as much as I could the people who asked for. So the tasks are going from being the face of France in wearing nice dresses and doing beautiful dinners. And then behind the scene is to be a hand for the people in need. And I tried to do that every day of my life for the months. But for me, as I told you, it was not a big difference because I was doing that before with less power in the ministers I was. So for 20 years, it was my task. So it's only that it was the highest one with the highest power I could ever had. That for me, it was really fantastic to be able to help so many people in a short time, because when the First Lady is calling someone, they pick up the phone. And when she asks something, they give it to her. If I call now someone to ask help for someone else, they will not pick up the phone. Before, everybody was answering and giving me what I want to help the others. So I use that power to help and to help people in need.
Thank you very much. Let's speak about Cecilia Attias Foundation for Women. What are your priorities? What are the countries where you are active?
This foundation started 15 years ago. When I moved to the US, I received the visit of an Iranian gentleman who came to see me, saying, listen, in Iran, everybody knows you. The women trust you because of what you did in Bulgaria. So we need and we know that change can come from inside the family. If we change the things, the kids in the family, the way they're raised, I mean, the change can come from the inside of the country. But those women need a leader. So I'm coming because I'm asking you to come with me to Iran and try to help and listen to those women. And then my husband, Richard Attias, told me, listen, you're not First Lady anymore, you're no one. So you cannot go without any protection to Iran just to try to help those women in need. So let's do a foundation. So you'll have people around you who could help you. And that's how the foundation started. So we're not a foundation on the field directly. We're a foundation with helping foundation associations who are on the field. How can we help them in finding funds, give them money, try to learn and teach them how to work together, try to have some media exposure for them. Recently, one of the foundations we're taking care of was elected foundation for CNN, the best foundation of CNN. So they receive money and a very big media exposure, which was amazing because it was a life changer for them. They received a lot of money. So our job is to help those foundations which are on the field.
Are there any plans for east of Europe in context of the war now?
I would love to, but I don't know exactly how to do things and what could be really efficient, because just going there to witness what's happening, it's awful. I would like to be able, I'm a doer. I would like to be able to do something. And I'm not sure I'm able, and I'm not sure I have the tools to do anything really efficient. So if I have the opportunity to do something really efficient, I will do immediately. Even if I have to go and talk to Putin, I will go. I don't care. I know him. I had dinner with him several times. So, I mean, everything that I could do to help, I will. But if not, what do you want me to do? Just go to show my face, and doesn't make any sense. I will do something only if it is really solving the problem or finding a solution for something. But I'm not sure I have this opportunity and this chance to change anything, unfortunately.
The last my question is about please send a message for the woman from the Republic of Moldova. I'm sure this interview will be watched carefully.
The message I can send it is I'm very, very proud of my roots. That's it. It's an amazing part of the world. And we have a lot of talents. We speak plenty of languages. It's very easy for us from this part of the world. I know that it's rich in history, in culture, and women are, I mean, equal as men. So don't hesitate. Make things change and do whatever you can to have the life you're dreaming of. There is no dreams that a woman cannot reach. So just be yourself, work in the talent you have, and try to reach your dreams.
Thank you.